Hello internet world, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay. If you're new here, welcome. So today my video for you is on how the struggle is not so real, and a lot of it is in your head. We're gonna dive right into it. This topic is gonna apply to the EJs, the EPs, the IPs, and the IJs. So everyone, guess what? You're a part of this one. Here we go. So I get a lot of comments and questions that sound somewhat like, I'm sometimes an INTJ and I'm sometimes an INTP. It depends. Or sometimes I get ones that are like, I'm sometimes an ENFP and sometimes I'm an ENFJ, depending on what time of life it is. Aside from the fact that these are completely different functions in the function stacks, they're not even related to each other, there is something more significant here. The biggest elephant in the room is what you perceive as your biggest problems in life. The really sharp hangups that actually cause you to have meltdowns in your life. What are those? I hate to tell you this, but your functions are telling you lies and you're believing them, and then you're freaking out about things when other people are just like, WTF. Okay? These freakouts, aka tidal waves, are the telltale signs of the single observers, which are the IJs and the EPs, and the single deciders, which are the IPs and the EJs. So we're gonna break down the two into these two separate categories today. So as an INTJ, I am pretty balanced as it relates to myself and the tribe, the people that I'm around. This is because my TE and my FI are in the middle of my stack, and I can go back and forth between them pretty easily because they're close together and they're up in my top three. I just don't experience people problems. I very easily see both sides of the story, and I honestly just don't care. There's no polarity involved. There's no push and pull on either end. Sure, people can be difficult sometimes, but do you know who can also be difficult? Me. Because I can be a controlling ass sometimes. See that ease between both perspectives? Ease, that's the word we're focusing on here. So enough about me, let's talk about how IJs and EPs are very similar in this way. All right, so the IJs and the EPs, what we struggle with the most is not the tribe, is not the self, it is the control and chaos of things. As single observers, our thing functions are on the poles, which means for me, I have NI on the top and SC on the bottom. These are the functions that relate to observing the world around us. And having that big gap in the middle is weird because 1 is here and 4 is here. But it makes it really easy to navigate the self and tribe stuff in the middle. Do you know how much drama I find myself in? Absolutely zero. People started calling me Switzerland at a very young age and still do to this day. However, that update on my computer that I've been ignoring for a little bit, that now Apple is insisting that I install before my meeting that's happening in the next 2 minutes, is literally the thing that's going to cause me to have an actual meltdown, probably shed a single tear over the fact that this stupid thing is preventing me from doing this more important thing that I really need to do. I just bypass the sensory, thinking of it as not important, disregarding it, not respecting it, because I was too focused on the big thing that was going on here. And that is where the IJs have their freakouts. EPs are gonna struggle more with the control and chaos of they're interested in a lot of different things, and sometimes it's hard to just focus on one of them, just to organize down to the singular, down to the system, and bring it all reduced down. They're gonna be the ones who are like, I wanna experience all the things, but sometimes I feel like I never really get any real progress with where I wanna go. That's more of an EP thing struggle. EPs also want that freedom, so they're also very much the ones who are like, don't control me, bro. And the IJs are like, we must control everything to make things the way that we want them to be. It's the gather function for the EPs and the organize function for the IJs. All right, and now let's talk about the single deciders, which are the IPs and the EJs, and then all of the IJs who still struggle with the contention between the self and the tribe, but still call themselves IJs. You're probably not, but that's cool. Single deciders have their tribe and their self functions on their poles, which means they have that large gap in the middle, which makes them great at doing the observational things. They can really flip between their S and their N functions in the middle, but their self and people functions are farther apart, and it just leads to this greater amount of polarity in their lives as it relates to these two things. Not things, people, things. There is just this sharpness and this spike when the IPs and the EJs deal with these people versus self issues. So if you're an EJ, a lot of your tidal waves are going to look like, I give everything for you. I break my back for you. What about me? What about the things that are important to me? What about the things that I love? Those are kind of going to be, at the end of the day, the real reduced down, the sharpness comes from those EJ struggles. For the IPs, it's going to be, it's impossible to please anyone. You just can't make anyone happy. People's happiness and understanding isn't my responsibility. But wait, nobody will accept me? I want people to like me. I don't want to be angry at people. I do want to do what works for them sometimes. So are you a single observer or are you a single decider? Where do your tidal waves hit? For me, as a single observer, I look at the single deciders freaking out about the people stuff and I'm just like, WTF. And it's funny because then they look at me freaking out about how to open up this package of batteries for the third time and I can't get it open with this pen, so I'm gonna use a knife this time. They look at me and they're just like, WTF. All right, so the moral of the story is be aware of where your polarity lies. Be aware of where that gap is between your first and your fourth function. It's going to say so much about you. And it's really going to help you realize that though something may seem like the worst thing ever, it is literally all just in your head. Your perception changes everything to you. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. If you would like to read about this subject, the blog I wrote on it is linked and listed down below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. It's funny, you guys just sit down to watch my videos like ain't no thing. You see me here, slightly put together, not realizing I got stuck putting this shirt on 3 times around my head with these strange straps that are attached to the inside. I'm gonna burn this shirt when this video is over.